on, computer, go live. There we go. Set to live chat. Get out to the Lazo, share out the book of faces. All right. Turkey Tom had a bunch of allegations, and he waited a bit because most of the allegations are on kiwi farms. Does anyone really take kiwi farms serious? I know I don't, usually. But he finally decided, you know what? I got the receipts. Fuck it. Let's burn this place to the ground. And so, that's pretty much what he does. Let's go.
I'm sorry that this response took so long. I wanted to make sure I had all the facts together before saying anything. Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations. The two women who are accusing me, Sacramento89, real name Rowan, and Leffert.
Yeah. Again, content/trigger warning here, people.
Dead, real name Katie, took to gossip forum Kiwi Farms to post the accusations, along with carefully cherry-picked screenshots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first post. Here, she alleges that I am a real freak and like to, quote, record sexual encounters without asking for consent. This is blatantly untrue. I have never recorded any sexual encounter without explicit consent. As a matter of fact, with Rowan, she was the one who...
You shouldn't be doing that even with consent, because, dude, that shit gets out. You can't put it back. You cannot put the genie back in the bottle, just saying.
Who initiated the idea of filming sex acts in the first place. On Tuesday, August 19th, after 3 months of knowing each other and being sexually active, Rowan texted me saying, "You should get those meta glasses when you crack me." I responded by saying, "For what?" And she answers again, "Cracking time," alluding to me filming her with the glasses onboard camera. Now, at the time, I did not feed into this. I did not show enthusiasm. I didn't even agree to get the glasses. I just responded and said, "Good night, sweet dreams." So 1 whole week goes by without us talking about it whatsoever, and then on August 25th, Rowan texts me saying, "You should get those meta things for real." So I respond by saying, "I think I'm going to avoid filming anything involving sex for a while," showing that I am clearly not the person interested in filming our sexual encounters. She is. As you can see in the text, even when I say I don't want to film us having sex, she pushes the issue. Now, to be clear, we did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent.
Again, I don't know why you do that in the first place, but hey, more power to you, I guess.
Every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also, on September 8th, Rowan texts me, "I do miss it though," in regards to our sexual interactions. She follows it up by saying, "Send the videos." Keep in mind, these are videos that she claims in present day were taken without her consent. She then goes on to say, and I quote, "I will watch them and keep them close to my heart," clearly indicating she has no problem whatsoever with them existing. I'm an extremely paranoid person when it comes to my personal life and my sex life and my dating life. As a public figure, I just like to keep my private life private. So I was very hesitant to send Rowan any sexual videos we had taken. However, I did send her one single still image from one of the videos where my face is obscured. I guess there was some lingering thought in the back of my mind that if her accounts were not locked down super well and if she had been hacked, then the videos could have been made public. Now, there's an implication she makes a few different times that I'm basically blackmailing her with these videos.
Somebody asked if you had any intention of getting any sort of like law enforcement involved, but I feel like you answered this where you just want to try to compel him to delete whatever he has on you, and that's like the the extent of your interest.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about what to do, but we'll see.
At no point anywhere did Rowan provide any proof of me threatening to release these videos of us having sex or threatening to send them anywhere. So she has no reason to believe that I would ever release them. The idea that I
would just like to point out, never stick your dick in crazy. Don't get me wrong. Crazy sex, best sex. But do not stick your dick in crazy.
A person who makes a living as a public figure would publicly release videos of me fucking my ex-girlfriend to get back at her is so insane. not only would that incur reputational harm beyond belief, but also serious legal consequences. The only person who has ever sent an image of us having sex to anyone is, ironically, Rowan. Days after I broke up with her, she, without my consent, sent the only image she has of us having sex to the owner of Kiwi Farms.
Which is fucking crazy. Like, why Josh Moon of all people?
Here, listen to him describe it.
Oh, and one other thing, I forgot about this, but you actually, Sacramento had sent me a picture that was like censored. Apparently the only picture that he would send you is one where his face isn't clearly visible in it, but you can,
Yes.
I can tell the desk, like his computer is moved onto the table, but I can still see like the monster is like on the cozy that's like on the table, like in the exact same position. So I can tell that's clearly his desk.
I guess I just find it ironic that someone who's accusing me of blackmailing her with her nudes literally sent a picture of us having sex to a man that she has never met. Now, Josh recounts seeing this image and talks about how hard it looks like I was grabbing Rowan on the mouth, essentially using it as evidence to support another claim she makes that I'm too rough during sex, which I find very interesting because after I sent Rowan this photo, she texted me saying, "I like when you cover my mouth like that." Again, she texts me asking me to send her the videos, and she says, "Yeah, whenever you're not locked in, send the videos. It will fix me for about a week. Goon sesh." This is clear evidence that she has no problem with these videos existing. To this day, she has provided zero proof that the videos were recorded non-consensually, or that I was blackmailing her with them, or that I had any intention of sending them to anyone. Reason being, I never did any of those things. In Rowan's interview, she claims that I never asked for consent to film these sex acts, and says that she wouldn't notice I was filming until 30 seconds to 1 minute into it.
I'm not sure of an exact date, but maybe like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, he would like he never asked me. He would just pull out his phone and record, and I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute or a minute into it.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone, but in them, it's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts. She never once questions why I'm filming or what I'm doing, because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Ask yourself, how could she possibly have never consented?
Dude, I'm just saying. Don't stick your dick in crazy.
To filming when she's literally holding my phone next to her face as she sucks my dick. In the interview, she says that what really concerns her
Okay,
is that I wouldn't
then.
send her any of the sexual videos we took.
I'd asked him multiple times if he could please send me the videos, so like he's not the only one who has videos of me naked. And he either ignored the question or was just like, no.
As I said earlier, I was paranoid to send these videos to anyone, even her, for fear of them leaking. Weirdly, in messages at the time, she seems to actually get it, saying, "I want to see them videos, goon time," before following up by saying that she actually understands why I'm scared to send them to her. Now we're going to fast forward to October 17th in our text, and Rowan says, "Do you ever go back and watch our videos?" And I reply, "Yes, I do sometimes, actually." Rowan responds that she's thinking about that right now, and then says, quote, "Need that big white cock." It's also kind of strange to me that at the time she referred to them as our videos, but in the present, she's claiming she doesn't even want them to exist. On November 6th, Rowan asked me why I never ask her for nudes. I say I have a bunch of videos already, and that's why. She does not express that she has a problem with me having the videos. She doesn't complain about it. She doesn't say they were taken without her consent. In fact, throughout the entire relationship, she was sending me nude photos of herself unsolicited every single month. Why would you send nude photos of yourself to someone you think could use them against you? Rowan personally posted dozens of screenshots of our texts, and not a single one shows her bringing up any of the videos being non-consensual. Another interesting fact is that during our breakup, she texted me a pros and cons list, which she apparently had written about me on January 4th of 2026. And in the cons section, she complains about a lot of things, but she doesn't mention non-consensual videos whatsoever. With that out of the way, we can move on to Rowan's claim that I was sexually abusive towards her. In that same pros and cons list, Rowan wrote, "Says he likes hurting me during sex and making me bleed." This also reflects her public claims about me, but the great irony is that I never even said this. She did. On September 14th, 2025, Rowan sent me a text saying, quote, "I'm such a freak. I like when it hurts and bleeds."
I agree with this dude. DSP doesn't want sex. No sex, Steve. Ugh. Cringe Cloud Gremlin. Oh yeah, he's still cringe as hell. But dude, you stuck your dick in crazy, then you're actually surprised when the crazy acted crazy. Like, why do you think they're called crazy? I just thought maybe they had schizophrenia. Like, that's any better? When the voices in their head start telling them to do shit like this? Like, dude, don't fucking do it.
After Something Wong. In one of her public-facing posts about me, she posts an interaction
Yeah, that something wrong happens multiple times in these text messages. I don't get it.
which reads as follows. She says, quote, "Like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day, or do it so hard I hurt and bleed." And I said, "Well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't gotta. We can do other things." And she says, "Okay, I like doing other things too." The way this screenshot is cropped, it comes across like I'm some, just super callous freak who's brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve mining diamonds. But in the full uncropped screenshot,
What the fuck?
Her immediate response to me after that is, I'm a freak. I say this, and as soon as I see you, I'm going to be freaky again. I can't resist. In the interview, she elaborates on this even more, specifically claiming that she would bleed almost every time we had sex.
Okay, and you would bleed the
Yes.
same, and you didn't stop.
Yeah, I would bleed almost every time.
This is just blatantly untrue as well, and it's easy to see by going through our text messages. On August 17th of 2025, the day after my birthday, Rowan and I were planning to go to Mass, and she wanted to have sex with me. So she texted me saying, Tom, I started my period. I was driving, so I couldn't say much, but I replied by saying, that sucks, I'm 40 minutes away. She follows up by asking me if I mind getting my sword bloody, and I say I'll be okay. So if it wasn't already clear, she's asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is months into us going out and being sexually active, and she's still worried that the idea of bleeding during sex would gross me out. Now, as soon as she began posting about me, people were naturally perplexed by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem, and she says, I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before, it was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled after almost every single time. I feel like most of this statement has already been dispelled, but even the smallest detail of
The extra equipment, that's what gets you, dude.
no medical condition that
What was that, Hangover 2?
I know of is also false. On September 24th of 2025, Rowan texted me saying that she's going to switch from her current birth control, Nexplanon, to the pill because she has month-long periods that cause her to bleed. So regardless of sex, Rowan admittedly bleeds for an entire month at a time. One of Rowan's main criticisms is that I'm too...
Which, holy shit, what the fuck? Hey, fuck Crazy and wonders why Crazy wants you over, yet makes an entire channel following Generacy. Still a D-Gen. That's how I feel about the time situation. And no one's innocent. And it's like, oh gee, this bitch is cray-cray. You know what I'm gonna do? Have sex with it. Like, no. This is what happens. This is what happens every time. Well, no, I'm gonna fix her. I'm gonna fix her, guys, I swear. No, you're not.
Rough. In fact, she describes our sexual interactions as intense, violent aggression every single time.
I genuinely did think that he would maybe change and stop being so aggressive, because he told me before that he would like kind of chill out, but he never did chill out, and it kept being the same very intense, violent aggression every single time.
She also alleges that I hit, choked, and beat her without asking, essentially painting me as an abusive partner.
Unfortunately, I did still stay with him, and I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions about that, and honestly, you were completely correct to question my judgment as to why I stayed with him, even though he was, hitting and choking and beating me.
There's this idea she's trying to paint that in the relationship, I was constantly pushing this rough, violative sex onto her, and even though she didn't like it and was being abused, she stayed with me. I've seen some people question her saying things like, well, if you hated it, why didn't you just leave? But realistically, sometimes people do stay with abusive partners, and I don't want to invalidate their stories through my response. The real reason that she didn't leave is because she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies. In this first screenshot here, she expresses that she is a real freak and says that she wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded. So maybe there's something wrong.
So, these weren't warning signs? None of these were warning signs to you. This is what she's sending you. And you just, I guess, well, huh? No alarms went off. You didn't see any red flags. Trying to save face, his reputation, and Josh is trying to save face, his forums by closing that board. Oh, yeah. It's a shit show all the way around, but how the fuck do you get this sent to you and go, huh, this is what I want to stick my dick in. This is what I want to try to have a relationship, because I can fix them. No one else can, but I can. I can totally fix them. No. No, you can't.
Wrong with me. I respond by saying that we should not have sex in the woods, and she says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark room. That's why I like you. I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person, and she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. In fact, anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow, I guess sensual intercourse with Rowan in the bedroom, she actually had a problem with that. I remember one specific instance where I was being more slow and sensual, and I remember her whispering in my ear saying, I want you to pound me. And that's probably why on June 5th, 2025, she texted me saying, I need to get face fucked for an hour. And I replied by saying, damn, exams suck. On June 7th, she texted me and says, I'm excited to get...
So that's what she says. You responded with, damn, exams suck. Like, how do you even come up with the exams suck when you get that? What? And this entire time, I'm just thinking, why? Why would you say, oh no, I'm going to be busy that week? And this is every week, be like, oh no, I'm going to be busy that week. Sorry. What the fuck? I don't get it.
Get fucked borderline domestic violently. At one point in the interview, she states that one time I was angry at my ex-girlfriend, and that the next time we had sex, I was particularly aggressive. This is a very strange thing to accuse me of, given that on October 13th, Rowan says, verbatim, sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me. She clarifies, saying, I do like that though, even without the fighting. So at every opportunity, this girl is publicly saying, oh my god, look at all this horrible shit he did to me. And then she's texting me that she wants me to kidnap her, tie her up, and pound her in the woods. And if anyone is putting up any resistance to that, it's me. She once again lies about weird little things in the interview. Like she says that I was her second boyfriend.
He was my second boyfriend.
And when I heard this, I was very confused because she told me that I was her third. In my opinion, she said this to make herself seem less sexy.
Second or third, I don't think that really matters. And maybe the second guy she didn't really consider a boyfriend, just a fuck toy, who knows? How crazy she is, what the fuck?
Sexually experienced than she really is,
almost
to make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this next post, she writes, again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super gooner. Sort of normalize it in my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that. So for information on how I supposedly normalize this behavior, let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see what our conversations about sex were like. On Wednesday, May 14th, after only hanging out with Rowan once, she texted me saying she's excited to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect, we did have intercourse on our second date, and after this first sexual encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, rape thing is so hot. I never did that before. You should tie me up next time. My response to this is consensual sex is good. And she says, you know what I meant by that. I don't know what to call it. So from the very first interaction we have, she calls our sex rape for some reason, saying how hot it is, to which I clarify that it was consensual, and she says, I know what you mean. And for the...
So it's almost as if you knew she was fucking crazy and you knew you're gonna have to cover your ass. You knew you were gonna have to cover your ass. That's why you're responding like this. I just don't get it.
Record, I never indulged in her fantasy to be tied up, just not something I was interested in any way. And we also never did anything in the woods, in case you're curious about that. To hammer this point home, let's go over some more texts where Rowan talks about sex. On Friday, May 16th, she texts me asking when I'm free and says that she needs my, quote, big dick. And I say, don't say and she says, it is, and I need it. On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being with someone with as big of a dick as mine. She says that it hurt her, but she wants to do it again, and she won't be a pussy about it. Some of her public claims about me are more desperate and weird than others. Like she complains that I didn't eat her out.
Like, he never once ate me out, but he would demand that I would constantly suck his dick. And, like...
I don't know about you, but I ain't going on the internet and admitting to any of this. Even if all this is true, I'm not admitting to shit on any of this.
Yeah.
But here is a text message of me directly telling her, look, I'm a selfish lover. And she says, it's okay. I like sucking dick more than getting eaten out. I'm a real freak. Despite her acting like I am a sexual degenerate, repeatedly doing sex acts she doesn't enjoy, here she is saying, you match my freak, kind of. Not you're too freaky or we've been too freaky. She says that I match her freak. Here in this next one, she says, I'm getting on my knees as soon as I see you, by the way, freak mode. In this next one, I give a little bit of input. I tell her I'm thinking about her pussy. And she responds to me saying, you gonna tear it up or what? Now, my question for you in the audience would be, do people who are into slow, romantic, candlelit sex describe intercourse as their pussy getting torn up? I would say probably not. Here in this next one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind, I don't want to reveal any of this information, okay? I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be here right now.
But a lot of this seems like you were trying to cover yourself even back then. Oh, here's text messages from 7 months ago. Like, why would you be texting like that 7 months ago unless you knew she was fucking crazy and you knew something like this was going to happen? If you thought, I know exactly how this relationship is going to end. It's going to end with me having to go on YouTube and to talk about all this shit that I don't want to talk about. I'm going to have to. So I better make sure I get the screenshots ready and get all the text ready. Then why? Why would you get into a relationship with someone like this? If, like, from the very beginning you knew this is how it was going to go.
And I would never intend on sexually shaming an ex-partner. But she's gone out of her way to not only shame me, but also to lie in an effort to paint me as some gooner, freak, borderline rapist. So let's keep going. Here, Rowan makes a post saying that I am a Patrick Bateman gooner because I flexed in the mirror after we had sex. But the strange part about this is that I have a text of her saying, quote, I keep thinking about how hot it was watching myself take your big dick in the mirror. Gooner as fuck, sorry. Reading through what she says about me publicly, it's like every accusation she makes towards me is actually some kind of confession to her own behavior. On June 25th, she texts me wondering if she can give me head after getting her wisdom teeth taken out. She obviously wouldn't be able to do that because it causes your face to swell up like a blimp. And she responds with, no, I gotta do it as much as possible before. Here, Rowan's asking me, am I the tightest, most perfect girl you ever fucked? On July 2nd, she says,
Dry spells do things to a man. Yeah. Crimson flags, but you only responded to keep your rep good enough. So she's crazy. That's good that he puts out himself like. But I don't know about you, but if I go on a date with someone, go on a couple days, and it's like, okay, there's all kinds of red flags. You know what I'm doing? Like, oh no, I'm gonna be busy. Oh, I don't know, this is gonna work out. I'm gonna be so busy coming up. Oh, maybe you should try to find someone else. Like, I am not gonna be like, all right, I better start covering my ass now, so that way when 7 months from now she snaps, I'll be ready. Like, no, I'm not gonna be going, 7 months from now she's gonna snap and do this. I better prepare myself. Like, no. The second I think, oh shit, it's gonna hit the fan in the future, guess what? I'm out. Fuck that noise.
miss that big dick so much, I'm under spells. On July 5th, I bring up us wearing condoms, and Rowan says, ew, no, and then tells me that she wants me to cream pie her, and that she's a real freak. After I say happy birthday, sweetie, for her 21st, she says that all she wants for her birthday is my big, white In this next one, she texts me saying, I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. In this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy. She then says, I have a big white cock addiction. Interestingly enough, in this next one, she's asking me if I can have sex with her while holding her in the air, essentially, and tells me that I should try to do it. Once again, a pretty bizarre thing to ask someone to do who allegedly has
That is a very hard position. You gotta have their back against the wall if you want to try that.
been abusing you for 3 months by now with overly rough sex. On July 21st, she starts off by texting me, I hate gooner men, and then not even 1 minute later, she says, I need that big white cock. On August 23rd, she says, whenever I wake up without my morning Tom face fuck, I am sad. On September 2nd, she expresses that she wished she lived closer to me, but if she did, it would be an issue because she would want to come suck my dick all the time. On September 17th, she sends me an Instagram reel of someone praying the rosary. I don't respond, and she follows up by saying, I miss that dick so much. Here in this next photo, she sends me a picture of her in lingerie with the caption, when it's rape time, and after she said that, all I did...
What the fuck? How do you not run away screaming after reading this shit? Every accusation she makes against him is like confession. Who does something like that? She was taken out of him. How do you get text like that and be like, yeah, this is the person I want to stick my dick in for the next 6 months until things go sideways?
Was respond with a photo of the movie Just Friends. On Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 a.m., Rowan says, I hope you come. I got something special for our rape times. I say, change that to consensual sexual encounters, and she says, I know. She expands on this particular message and says, are you mad at me? I know it's consensual. So even as we're approaching over 4 months of being together, she's still telling me that our sex is consensual and that she likes it. Now that I've gone through a lot of our messages, I think it's pertinent that we get into the month of October. This is the month that Rowan has publicly claimed that there was one specific incident that occurred during which she asked me to stop having sex with her, and I did not. To be perfectly clear, this never happened. But just to have some fun, we can go through our texts day by day in this month to see which day this horrific incident could have possibly occurred. On October 2nd, she texts me saying, you are perfect. On October 3rd and 4th, we hung out. She asked me if I got home okay, and she says that I am her formal date in her heart. She then says that she hates when anyone comments on her body, even in a positive way, and I tell her that she should eat slop and go for a walk and not worry about it, and that she is beautiful. On October...
Apparently she's had anorexia or other eating disorders in the past. That's why this all gets brought up.
8th, she continues being sexual, complimenting my arm. She then resends me a meme that says, me if I do not have violent sex very soon. On October 8th, she also says, I miss my handsome husband. Here, I tell her I landed in Texas. She says, I miss sucking on it. She then texts me saying, you got to start putting rape time in your reminders. On October 9th, she says that she wants to hang out. I say I arrived. On October 10th, she says, let me know when you get back safe. I always have such a fun time with you. On October 14th, she says she wishes she was waking up to me in the morning. And she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting dating me because previously she was partying and going out, and now she spends time with me. On October 15th, she says, I started my period. I wish I could come suck on it. And that evening, she says, I would kill myself if I had to talk to any other man but you. I say, that's true. I'm a nice guy. And she says, yeah, I'm the bad guy. On October 17th, we've already read this, but this is once again where she says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I say, yeah, I do sometimes actually. And she responds to me that she's thinking about that right now and says, quote, need that big white cock. In the mirror, you deadass look like the Hulk compared to me. Now, one thing to note here is that at no point does she express that the videos were taken without her consent. Once again, I just want to have that hammered down here. On October 19th, she texts me saying she needs my milk right now. She then says I miss my perfect jacked boyfriend, and that night she sends me nudes. At 10 p.m., she sends me a photo of a guy with a clock in his hand and says, I need that dick. On October 21st, I send her a bicep photo. She responds saying, you look good, Tom. I can't wait to suck your dick. She says, I love you.
What? Dude. Maybe it's like, oh yeah, it was so fucking hot, so fucking hot. But then he's like, all right, I better make sure I screenshot this. I better make sure I respond this way. I better make sure I get this deleted. I better make sure I don't send that. So you knew from the very beginning, like, I better not send her photos of that or video of this. I better respond with this. So that way 7 months from now when this all blows up in my face, I'm ready. If you knew from the very beginning, why would you go into this? All right, maybe dry spells do things to a man, but what the fuck?
You're a great boyfriend. She then says, you never officially asked me to be your girlfriend, to which I say that we did. On October 23rd, there's proof we hung out that day. She then says, text me when you get home safe, and I say, I made it. She also texted me saying, I love when my bed smells like your musk. On October 24th, she says, good night, you're the best boyfriend ever. October 25th, she sends me a photo of herself in a deer outfit and says, meow, I miss Tom's big white dick. That night,
you're in a deer outfit, but then you say meow. Why not get cat ears and then say meow?
she says, I'm going to send you ass pics tomorrow. On October 26th, we've read this one before, but here she says,
I believe he knew this was going to blow up in his face, but he still did it anyways. Like, why would you be responding like this? Why would you be like, I'm not going to send pictures or photos, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to send that, I'm not going to do this with you? If you thought that there's nothing but green flags as far as the eye could see. Like, the red flags are there. There are more red flags in this than fucking China. And he still went, you know what? I'm still going to stick my dick in it. Like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? I know, not enough blood rushing to his brain at the time.
next time during our epic rape time, you can tie me up. I say, you mean consensual sex, and she follows it up by saying, you know what I mean, Tom, rough sex. Once again, these are really weird messages to be sending to someone that you now claim is sexually abusing you on a weekly basis. Now that evening, the evening of October 26th, we can see that I hang out at Rowan's house and I sleep over. Then there's a text that shows that I'm leaving and mentioned that I took my friend to the hospital. On October 27th, she says that she hopes I'm doing well. She loves me so much.
Again, what the fuck were you thinking? Even as that's what he's trying to do. He knows he goes against everything his channels dedicate. Hell, he did this on one of those channels for attention. It's like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking with all this? How do you... Like, I don't know about... Like I said, like, if I'm going to a relationship and I'm immediately going, you know what? This is probably going to end poorly. I'm not sticking it out for 7, 8, 9 months. And risking all this happening.
October 30th, she says that we'll be married in 2 years. October 31st at 12:30 in the morning,
the whole
she texts me and
situation
says,
here is
I had a
fucking
nightmare.
weird.
You broke up with me. Oh my god. She then says that I should cut a hole in my Batman suit for my dick. On October 31st in the afternoon, she says, oh Tom, I yearn for the big white cock. On November 1st at 1:20 a.m., she says, up? No good night? I love you? Yeah, it's fucking over. I tell her that I'm falling asleep, and she says, you was madly in love with her and not me. I'm gonna kill myself. I tell her, good night, I'll see you tomorrow, and I then say, do not say anything like that ever again. Now, for a little more context on this specific message and what she's talking about here, during...
He's specifically gone after people for being gooners before. So, him being a gooner himself, or getting involved with this shit.
Our entire relationship, she was extremely insecure about the fact that before I was with her, I had lived with a girl, and she wanted me to basically show more commitment in the relationship than I was willing to show, as far as like moving physically closer to her. And at a few points, she suggested that we move in together, and I said, you know, it's just too soon. We're not really ready for that. I don't think that makes sense after dating for just a few months to move in together. So that's the context of this. She would constantly bring up shit and compare herself to my ex or ex-sexual partners in general, but my ex-girlfriend. And I was like, don't say stuff like that. Like, I'm dating you right now. Stop worrying about this. So later on in the night, she texts me saying, mass is needed. I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart heart for you, I know this. And this carries into the morning where she says, hi, my sweet love. The next day around noon, she says, sorry for being kind of bitchy. Let me know when you're on your way. I say that I've arrived. We take a photo in our Halloween outfits. And on November 2nd, I say that I made it home. And she says that she hopes that I have a good day. So we've now made it through the entire month of October. And there's no indication of any kind of abuse, any kind of mistreatment, or even really anything negative. But almost every single day, she says something about how she loves me, how I'm perfect, how everything is good. And she keeps sending me sexual stuff the entire time without me even asking. At the risk of belaboring the point, I do want to go through a few more messages just for the hell of it, just so I can confidently show that she was extremely sexual the entire time and never expressed any reservations about the sex we were having. On Wednesday, November 5th, out of nowhere, she texts me saying, I'm trying to make you nut. I just don't respond. On December 12th, she sends me nudes again. Kind of a weird thing to send to someone who apparently has sexual blackmail on you again, is it not? On December 24th, she says that I'm a sweetie pie. She's grateful for me. She wants to make me nut again in her words, and she hopes we're married for a long time. On January 2nd, she sends me a naked photo of herself, again, unprompted. And the morning of January 8th, Rowan texts me saying that before she comes to visit me, she needs to know that my dick is working. Less than 36 hours later,
And why would you be worried about that unless you were having issues with it? Alrighty then.
broke up with her. So as you can see, the texts don't lie. Rowan was blatantly the more sexual one in the relationship. I've produced evidence of this nearly every single week, and she didn't produce any because there isn't any. But apart from the idea that I filmed her without her consent, and apart from the idea that I was a sexually abusive partner, she actually made some other claims as well. So another claim she made is that I encouraged her eating disorder.
Yeah, I told him very early on, like, hey, like, I've struggled with eating issues in the past, and I'm kind of still trying to gain some weight and make sure everything's okay. And he would tell me, oh, I love how skinny you are. I like how small you are. You know, like, I love how your body is like skinny, and like just say all this stuff that was incredibly hard to hear.
This is also a pretty serious claim, and if true, would undoubtedly make me a pretty fucked up guy, but it's just not true. Here, I directly discourage her eating disorder, even giving her advice on gaining weight, and I say starving yourself is very bad for you. In this next screenshot, she says she used to be thick, but she self-nuked. I say you look the same, more or less. I guess you lost some weight, but I think both are attractive. In this next one, she says that she feels skinny fat. I say I don't agree, and I say that working out is good. In this next one, she sends me an image that says nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and I say that's a sickening image.
That's used a lot in eating disorder community on like Reddit and stuff.
Now, for those who don't know, this is like it's like a pro-anorexia slogan, I guess you would call it. Here in this next screenshot, she asked me if I'd still like her if she gained weight, and I say yes. Here in this next one, I tell her explicitly she should eat more food and drink protein shakes to gain weight, and I also tell her that gaining weight would be healthy for her, as well as saying, I just want you to be healthy. Here in this next one, I tell her that I find her sexy how she is, but that it could be healthy for her to gain 5 to 10 pounds. So this is now 7 instances of me actively discouraging her eating disorder, despite her lying and saying that I was egging it on. Now, one of the other allegations that Rowan has levied towards me is that I'm into age play. She's not alleging that I did it with her, she's alleging that I did it with another girl named Ellie, who I briefly talked to 2 years ago. Now, there's no proof whatsoever that I did anything close to age play, but I did text her about these allegations, and she clearly states that I've never done age play. An ex-girlfriend of mine named Kai, who I dated for 3 years, also publicly posted on Twitter.
Why does his name Kai sound so familiar? Isn't that one of Onision's exes? I mean, obviously going to be a different person, you would hope, but...
Twitter saying that I never abused her and that we never did anything related to age play. So this brings the total counter up to 5 people: Rowan, Katie, Ellie, Kai, and another random girl I banged a year ago named Maddie, who for some reason came out in the midst of all of this to post pictures of herself in my house. And all of these people say that I never was into this fetish with them. The closest thing I've ever engaged in when it comes to age play is that sometimes girls do call me daddy during sex.
Which, I mean, can be kind of awkward, like, no.
It's a little embarrassing given that I am me. I accept that it's something people are going to see is a little bit strange. All I can really do at this point is accept that it's something that I've done, and I think that Rowan should accept it about herself too, given that she also called me daddy during sex and over text repeatedly. In the same vein as this accusation, Rowan stated, one more thing to add I thought was odd: never really expressed any interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff, but I had like one Hello Kitty figure in my car. As a gift, Tom bought me Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff. So Rowan essentially wants you to believe that I'm pushing.
That's like, oh, when you're a kid, I like polar bears. Next 20 years of your life, every time it's Christmas or your birthday, you get polar bear stuff.
Hello Kitty onto her as if I have some kind of weird fascination with it. But the truth is that I am a 23-year-old man, and I don't give a fuck about Hello Kitty, okay? The only reason I bought her anything Hello Kitty themed at all, which was once, by the way, was because she frequently expressed interest in it. Here she is sending me a photo with a Hello Kitty figurine next to her printer. Here she is sending me a photo with a hand-drawn and colored Hello Kitty image on her wall. Yeah, she made these herself. Here, in regards to her decorating my room, she says, no Hello Kitty, with a frowny face, and I say, correct. Something interesting about these texts is that she shows that she has a poster of the movie Lolita on her wall. I wonder what the movie Lolita could possibly be about. This film is about a middle-aged...
Yeah, I mean, watching this and it's like, dude. My issue isn't that, I believe her over him. Like, no, I believe him over her. Because he's got the receipts. My issue is, don't. stick. You're a dick. And crazy. Now we'd be like, well, I didn't know she was crazy at the time. That wasn't until no months later. Nah. Like, this is like, oh yeah, 7 months ago when we first started dating, 6 months ago when we first started dating, 5 months ago when we've been dating for a couple months, 4 months ago we've been dating for 3 months. So you knew, like, from the very beginning, from like the first month of meeting her and dating her, that she was fucking nuts. You knew, like, huh, I better make sure I say this, I better make sure I don't send that, I better make sure I cover my ass. She was 20 and then she turned 21 while they were dating. She went from 20 to 21. So she's only a couple years younger than he is. But yeah, it's not, my issue with Tom is not that this happened because he's got the receipts to show that, like, nothing was his fault or whatever. My other issue is, dude, this is not a case of, oh yeah, we were together, we were dating, and like 6 months later she moved in and that's when the crazy came out. Like, no. The crazy came out day fucking 1. And you still went, I'm gonna stick my dick in that again.
Professor who is sexually attracted to adolescent girls he calls nymphets. He rents a room in the house of a young widow to get closer to her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores Hayes Lowe, whom he calls Lolita. Obsessed with the girl, he eventually gains control over her after he takes her cross-country with him. Rowan even says that I should watch this movie, to which I reply that I feel like it's a movie adult men aren't supposed to see. In this next screenshot, Rowan asks me, if I start dressing like a weird Hello Kitty e-girl, would you still fuck with me? And I replied, no, I don't want you to do that. I find it kind of repulsive. Here, Rowan is texting me upset that she has to take down all of the Hello Kitties from her dorm room. And this next one is probably the strangest reference to Hello Kitty out of all of them. Here, she's sending me a video that says, get you a man that takes you to the Hello Kitty hotel. And under it, she writes, imagine the rape here. And I say, I will not imagine. Now, with some of the more insane projections and lies out of the way, I'd like to get into some strange details that Rowan also decided to lie about for whatever reason she may have. One thing that a lot of people pointed out that's strange is that Rowan had taken a photo of us matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of the match because I could kind of tell there was like something weird about this guy. Like, I didn't know if he was famous or whatever. And also, I did that to other people as well on Tinder.
Just like everybody you matched with to like gossip with, like girlfriends.
Yeah, like a couple of them. But yeah, he seemed like kind of weird. So I took pictures of our match.
She's also stated
He seemed weird, so I made sure to match with him right away.
repeatedly that she's not a very online person multiple times throughout her testimony. But the wild thing about this is Rowan had sent me a message on my YouTube connected Instagram all the way back on February 21st of 2024, 15 months before matching me on Tinder, where she said, you have to do a video on this crazy guy on Twitter who only has like 3,000 followers, but this man is a menace. I even confronted her about this when we first hung out because I found it very strange that she lied to my face when she first met me and said she didn't know who I was. I said, hey, I looked at our messages on Instagram and saw you DM me over a year ago. Rowan said, oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but I watched one of your vids a while ago and thought you were cute, but I thought it would be awkward.
I mean, not the worst nickname to have. And as long as I'm like, you know, you get the 6'8" guy on the construction crew and everyone calls him Tiny. Like, as long as the BWC is not an ironic nickname, just saying, not the worst nickname to have.
I responded, that's okay, I was just surprised. She replied, I know I probably look crazy. I said, I mean a little bit, it's okay.
Yes, she is crazy.
Hey, I just wish you told me, that's all. She answered, I didn't want to because I thought it would be weird. I'm sorry. Kind of lied about some stuff. I was like a niche internet micro-celebrity on Twitter for a little bit too. I'm chronically online and didn't want to admit it, lol. I've gotten better about it. Once again, this is just another detail that it doesn't even make sense to publicly lie about. It's just one of those things that makes me question her intentions throughout the entire relationship. Publicly, she's also misrepresented the end of our relationship. In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December and that after that she realized how bad it was and she felt the need to contact Katie, who we're gonna get into later. This is blatantly untrue. We broke up on January 10th of this year, 2026, and she began posting about me on January 14th, literally days later. She says the breakup was kind of mutual, an idea that is just bitterly...
Again. All this could have been avoided if the segment, this is a field of red fucking flags that would make China proud. I ain't stuck my dick in that. Instead he went, that's a lot of fucking red. There's more red in this than the blood ocean of Iron Lung. I know what I'm gonna do tonight.
Ironic because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online and even began attempting to blackmail me into having sex with her again.
I don't know what you want me to say to you. I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just break. We'll break up.
No, you won't, because I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
Because you don't deserve one.
Why?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Why?
Because our whole relationship, you act like everything is all about you the whole time.
Okay.
You don't give a fuck. You're just an awful guy, and I'm so
Ah,
sorry that your mom leaves
that's
you.
a great
She
joke.
seemed like a nice lady, but clearly she did something very wrong.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life.
Ah, Zelda, you
And
should have
move on
done
and have
more
your
to
life.
stop him.
And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other. We don't have to cause each
You should have gotten him one of those chastity cages, dude.
other any more anguish, okay?
I just want to see you again, though. Like, do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Because you're like threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not. Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
I stated blatantly that I did not want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times and texted me 80 times with no response. She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse while begging me to fuck her again.
Like, you've done all this like weird shit. Like, I don't like it. Like, you're so weird. You treat me badly, especially during sex. And like over the phone, I just listed everything that he had done wrong, and he was like, "Well, you can leave me if you want." And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you." That's basically what happened.
But there was no like specific.
I say Weaves, especially Pig Roach, probably like, ooh, can we get those videos leaked? I gotta see how big it is. I mean, my wife wants to know how big it is. Yeah, guys, my wife.
Like, did you guys talk at all between breaking up and then?
Thomas.
Like, if you had a movie or a TV show with that line, you'd be like, okay, that's a little over the top. What the fuck? But what the fuck?
And I?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because I blocked him.
Even this detail is also so insane. While it is true that once she started to lose her mind, I did stop talking to her, she continued speaking at me, alternating between begging me to forgive her for breaking up with her, saying she wanted to have sex with me again, and sending me psychotic text messages filled with lies that she came up with once I dumped her. Now, with Rowan dealt with, the next person I'd like to address is Clorox Katie. Katie's a girl I had a brief sexual relationship with 2 years ago, and she began posting about me on the same day as Rowan. Now, back when we were hanging out, she flew all the way from California to Maine to hang out with me twice. In the interview, she describes her time with me as the worst experience
That's a hell of a trip.
of her life.
And then you fly back. And how did that go? How long did you stay?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
And she also took to the forum to make some posts about me. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just actually a Patrick Bateman type gooner. When asked how things between us ended, here is what she had to say. I just truly thought he was a cringe who definitely was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling, but even my insane ass was scared of how he acted, and he was also just stupid. I hated conversation with him.
Then why would you fly cross country? Not once, but twice.
He was just extremely weird to me and also evil as fuck during sex. Naturally, people asked her why she hadn't reported me to the police, and her response was, I thought about the police and looked into it, but again, it being across my own state lines and in Maine, it would have had to been filed there, and I lived on the opposite side of the country, so it just didn't seem feasible. These claims are once again so absurd to me that the best way to dispel them is to just look through our messages together. In these 2 DMs, you see that Katie comes to visit me for the first time on January 20th and leaves on January 23rd. She comes to visit me, she says she's excited, she then goes home, and after leaving my house the first time, she immediately texted me saying, I had so much fun, Tom. You can kidnap me whenever. I feel so alone in my bed. She then says that she has to come back. Now, days after coming the first time, she sends me nudes. Once again, this is kind of a weird thing to send to somebody that you're claiming is recording sex with you without your consent. Why would you send this person nudes? She then sends me nudes a second time, says she needs it, says so starved, so deprived, and she says that she misses me so much. I say, let's hang out in March. She says I'm down, but waiting until March will be so hard. On February 1st, Katie says that she misses me. On February 2nd, she slides up on my story and says she is counting down the days until she can see me again. She then says that she needs to see me ASAP, and she misses all the things about me. On February 4th, she says she wishes that she woke up cuddling me. On February 8th, she says she wants to have sex with me again. Once again, this is after the first time we hung out. February 18th, she says she's going to swallow me, and she then sends me naked photos of herself willingly. Keep in mind, once again, she's accusing me of recording sex with her without her consent, and then she keeps sending me naked photos of herself. She even sent me a video, by the way. She says, I need you right meow. I need you ASAP. February 22nd,
Right, meow.
February 24th, we have I miss you and are you home yet? February 28th, she slides up on my story and says, I'm gonna suck you so good. She then says, I need to see you now more than ever. Lots of hugs and hot sex. On March 2nd, she says, I like you lots, and I reciprocate. She says she can't wait to see me again. She then says that she's excited to see me that coming Saturday. In the next screenshot, I say, your pussy's gonna be so sore. And Katie responds with, good thing we had to wait a while, because then I can take a beating. She then says, I'm ready for you to throw me around. Now, when we were discussing how many days she would want to stay, she says, as long as you want, and that we'll have so much sex.
Stuttering and. Yes, it's such a great fucking movie. Doesn't that also take place in Maine? It's been a long time since I've watched it. Yeah, show me the video, dude. Alright, maybe not, because it's YouTube.
And party so hard, and she then once again expresses how excited she is. On March 7th, she sends me a barrage of unsolicited sexual photos, including her with BDSM leather on her butt. On March 8th, she says all she can think about is me, and she can't wait for my dick to be down her throat. And on March 10th at 7 in the morning, which is 4 a.m. her time, she says that she is so excited to see me that she cannot sleep. Now, with the Instagram messages out of the way, we can move on to the text messages. So on March 10th, this is the second
yeah, I
visit,
think
right?
you're,
Prior to
it
getting
was
there, she says
Vermont,
that she
never
is
mind.
starving for me. Now, March 15th,
Same
this is when
thing,
she
it's all
leaves.
the
She
same
says
thing up
I still
there.
have her toothbrush, but that I have to let her come back. Now, keep in mind, Katie, in her own words, said that this second time visiting me was the worst experience of her entire life.
How long did you say?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
She basically describes being physically abused in the interview. She even says that while we were having sex, she would ask me to stop doing something, and I wouldn't. But that did not happen. You may also recall her stating that she ended things with me because I was such an insufferable person to be around. She claims that after the second trip, she began to realize she was a victim.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when things really started piecing together to me that I was like, wait, I think I am a victim right now. Like something's not right here.
In her words, this is why she stopped talking to me. She says that she was scared of me. She says she was scared that I would beat her.
Terrible
Well,
Zelda.
on March 20th, which is after the second visit, she texts me saying, Tom, I really like spending time with you, but I'm kind of worried about if you actually like me or just using me. Lol. I'm just BPDing, and so I'm tweaking and need reassurance. Are you just having fun with me, or do we have something? To which I respond, well, I like you, and I think you're cool, and perhaps we even have something. However, I would make a bad boyfriend, so I don't really want to date anyone officially, I guess. Yeah. I was abundantly clear with my intentions with her. I did not want anything serious at that time. But apparently, this is the period she began to realize the true extent of my abuse, which is probably why after we had already hung out the second time, Katie tries to arrange a third meeting with me, saying she wishes that she was in Ohio, where I was at the time, and I did not reciprocate. After this proposition,
Do not go to Ohio. There was nothing there.
she slid up on my Instagram story
I don't want a liter cola. I want a large farva, damn it.
12 times over the next 10 months. And
I know,
I
I
slid
got
up on her
that
story
reversed,
once,
but
not a
that was
single
funnier.
time. So ask yourself, do these texts sound like a girl texting
Reversing
a guy
it
that
was
she
way
finds
funnier.
evil and sadistic, a guy that she was even debating going to the police about? Because to me, it seems crystal clear that she enjoyed our time together and even wanted to hang out a third time. You gotta keep in mind here, she flew across the entire North American continent twice, from California to Maine to see me. After the second time, she wanted me to be her boyfriend. I didn't want to, and she then repeatedly made efforts to contact me and hang out with me again. Now, to close off the video, I think I'd like to share some interesting texts that Rowan sent me about her dear friend Katie, as they're both accusing me of, I mean, whatever it is they're even trying to say at this point. After she saw that I was following Katie on Instagram, she messaged me on December 8th saying, did you know Clorox Katie tried to fuck Jet Neptune? Those girls, too, make themselves easy targets with the hair and piercings because they have sexual trauma. She then says, they complain about sexual assault a lot because they will fuck anything that breathes. 1 month and 2 days later, I broke up with Rowan, and in the middle of her unhinged tirade about me, she told me that she would be messaging as many girls I had been with as possible to try and find whatever dirt she could so that she could run to the internet about it. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things to the effect of, you know, Tom's a hypocrite, he gooned. And you're right, I did goon, okay? I did not stop gooning. So maybe in the end, the hats are more relevant than ever. Anyway, that's about it. I've said everything I need to. Goodbye.
So yes, lots and lots and lots of receipts there. But holy shit. Again, like, if this was a case of, oh yeah, we were together for 3 months and then I was going to move her in because we were just so madly in love and then it came out she's fucking psycho, I could kind of understand. But you're seeing what he's doing with his text messages and all that, and I'm not going to send those kind of photos and videos. Why not? Because you're fucking crazy. And I know it's going to blow up in my face in a few months from now. Then why would you be with her? There was no, oh yeah, I thought she was perfectly okay, and then she just went nuts. No. She was nuts from day fucking one, and you knew it, Tom. Dude, seriously, what the fuck are you doing? And I get Turkey Tom may not be, you know, he's not Mr. B, so it's not like he's going to be able to just walk down New York City streets and be like, hey, you're cute, let's bang. I get that, so your offerings aren't as wild and imaginative as what others might get. But dude, you're not that bad looking. You got some money. You got some notoriety. You really got to be like, normal. Oh, she's fucking batshit crazy. I gotta stick my dick in that. Like, really? That's what you're doing? Dumbass. There's plenty of other people in the world. You don't have to look for the just most crazy, insane fucking people out there. Turkey Tom stuck his dick in crazy. 7 months later, it all blew up in his face. They made a bunch of allegations. But he had text messages and emails and Instagram messages and voice recordings to prove that, no, she's fucking crazy. You've got more non-caring of these types of stories because people want to cancel someone they can't do a good damage control. In fact, I care more about people who get harassed over opinions than the next sex story. If someone's being too touchy, I care. It's just... Like, I initially was like, alright, whatever, this is a guy that covered DSP for a documentary or whatever. Then I saw the video while Sly was watching it, and I'm like... So, this is not a case of, yeah, no, we were together for this long, and then we moved in together, and she went nuts. Like, you knew from day fucking one she was nuts. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, people? You knew from day fucking one to cover your ass, because you knew from day fucking one she was crazy. Yeah, I'm glad that this turned out to be, scorned X and all that. Not anything real, but shit, dude. Come on, you gotta do better than that, Turkey. And, like, okay, how do you meet this woman from California? Online? Like, really, there's not a single woman in all of Maine for you to get with? Well, you got what? Bangor, Maine, you got... Portland, Maine, you got Machias, East Machias. Like, you have plenty of areas for to meet women. Why are you meeting women from California and having them fly all the way across the country? Fuck that, dude. Like I said, I wasn't initially going to cover this because, alright, whatever. Guy covered DSP once. But then you get all this stuff to come out and it's like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? I met your wife online, on YouTube at that. As we're moving across the country just to be with her. Holy shit. Wait. Did you have the YouTube messaging back there like DSP with Panda Lee? This square finds voting in favor of Turkey Tom. Yeah, I do as well. In fact, whomst is the guilty party? Alphabetical order. Damn, that is old school. Like, I didn't get into YouTube until long after that was a thing. Man. I'm only a little peanut butter and jelly. Just a little, though. The last person I did it, I met at an actual place, Hamburger Mary. Went there after a concert, because the person I was with, they'd never been to Hamburger Mary. It's like, well, it's down the street from here where the concert was. Let's go. Walk there, then while we're there, the person sitting alone was like, oh, come join us. But you know what? If after like 2 or 3 times hanging out, there's just so fucking crazy, I'm like, huh. This is gonna end up in court, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna block. There would have been no chance of, huh. I definitely see this ending in court 6 months from now. I'm gonna stick my dick in them. Like, no, not a chance in hell. Turkey Tom, you're a grown-ass adult. I know he's only 23, 24 years old, so he's not that old. He doesn't have that much experience, but... Dude, seriously. John Fogerty, nice. Just go to a bar. Even if you don't drink, go to a bar. Or go to a concert, go to like one of those small venues where it's some... Like, oh, hey, yeah, we've been practicing our garage for the past couple months for the show, so hopefully don't throw anything at us. Those, I think, are actually kind of sort of my favorite concerts where it's like, hey, no, just a bunch of guys that, all right, get home from work, time to go to the buddy's house, practice the garage for a bit. Hogan's Bar. There you go. Go to Hogan's Bar, dude. Ah, fucking hell, dude. There's an Irish pub, I think it's called Bag of Nails. Friends and I like to go to. Yeah, the burgers are fucking top notch. Turkey Town, there's so many people in this world. You don't have to be this fucking desperate. Well, that guy's... Holy shit. It's not even been an hour. I mean, the video itself wasn't very long. And I did it at 1.25 speed just to get done even faster. That is just fucking crazy that... Someone I only know because they made fun of DSP. And now they're going through this shit because they just had to stick their dick in crazy. So this be a lesson for everyone. Everyone watching. It happens. You meet someone, you hang out, you date for a few months, then they turn crazy or they let the crazy loose after hiding it for 6 months. That does happen. This is not that situation. This is straight up, huh? We've had sex once and now she's sending me this? She's fucking crazy. I'm gonna stick my dick in it for the next 7 months. No. If after having sex once and she's sending you that kind of stuff, be like, huh. Alright, well, this is enough red flags for me. I'm out. Like, you don't have to stick around. You don't have to... No, there's no law that says, I suck my dick in them once, I gotta stay with them for the next 7 months till this blows up my face. If you know from the very beginning, they're fucking nuts. Yeah. Get out while you still can. For something like this all happens. Now, of course, with how crazy she is, could have been like, hey, you know what? I'm not comfortable you send me this kind of stuff, so I don't know if I want to see you anymore. Well, I'm going to go to Kiwi Farms. But you would still have the text of her like, oh my god, that first time was amazing. I can't wait to get digged down by you again. And then send all this crazy shit. Be like, you could do the same video, except to be like, yeah, we had sex once. And she's acted like this. This is what she sent me after one time. Like, huh. I can never understand why you would be like, you know what? I'm good on this. No, this was months. This was fucking months worth. I don't know why you would do this. Those chicks were crazy enough to try to catch him slipping. Well, I mean, there's that, and this guy does, like, documentary stuff. You really think this guy doesn't know how to keep all this shit saved? You think this guy's like, I don't know how to, I don't know, keep track of anything. Like, nah, this is what this guy does. He documents, he tracks, he saves. But the fact that he knew from the very beginning that he better start saving, he better start being careful, he better start, no, not sending this, but send that instead. From the very beginning, like, dude, you knew what you're getting your dick into. You knew what you're getting your dick into. So yeah, I just can't imagine knowing for a fact. He should know better, exactly. Yeah, they were both freaks. It blew up in his face. It's just... I didn't know when this first happened. I was thinking, like, oh, maybe, like, she went crazy and that's why he broke up with her. Like, no. She was crazy the entire time. Yeah, next time he comes out with a documentary, like, oh, then this person was doing this crazy stuff in the bedroom. Like, oh, is it any crazier than the shit you were doing in the bedroom? That is just fucking nuts that he knew from the very fucking beginning. She was nuts. And he still did this for months. For months he did this. He knew for a fact she was insane in the membrane. And still did this for months. With that though, guys, I guess I'm gonna let you go. Video's over. I'm done ranting about how much of an idiot he is. I gotta say, thank you all for watching. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have one hell of a day in about 10 more seconds when I hit stop recording at exactly 1 hour mark. And 5, 4, 3, 2,